Thank you for having me.
So, before I go any further, how's everything holding with you and everyone since this pandemic? How are you holding along?
Pretty good. Me and my boyfriend are pretty much staying home except when he has to go to work and stuff like that. But yeah, we're hanging in there.
That's
What about
encouraging.
you?
Um, I'm doing all right myself. Just been trying to stay sane, I guess you could say. Um, I,
Yeah,
I think at this point, everyone is trying to stay sane. Um, as
yeah,
we
definitely.
get to these holidays and just wondering if things will get better, if we get COVID-19 under control next year with the vaccine and everybody, and how would this affect artists like yourself, especially independent artists that goes to bars and venues and trying to get these gigs and everything. Um, so with that, we'll get to more of the performance aspect a little bit later, but how did you get started into music? How did it start off for you?
Well, to be honest, when I was very, very young, as in like a toddler, I was actually born deaf, but then I got tubes in my ears twice, and then I was able to actually hear things, but I was actually able to sing before I could talk, if that makes any sense. I remember my babysitter at that time would tell me as I got older that I would basically sing the ABCs without missing a single letter, all in tune, all that jazz. But yeah, so I got into singing very, very young. I actually used it to cope with a lot of the things I was going through at that age. But yeah, and then I got into piano around age 4. I remember begging my mom to get me piano lessons, and almost every teacher said I was too young. And then guitar I got into around 8 to 10, and then songwriting I actually got into around the 4th grade. But recent my more like I would say professional stuff I've just started in the past 2 years.
So I see that you've had a busy 2020, despite
Yeah.
the circumstances that we are been in. You released a self-titled EP. Um,
Mhm.
so let's go with that. Um, what was it like recording this EP, and how you feel about the reception you've been getting from this record?
So recording the EP was a lot of fun. I recorded it with a bunch of my friends actually, who became my bandmates after we met in college. So it was a lot of fun, and I have a really great team. So recording was always a good time. Um, but it was a very new experience for me because it was the first time I was actually like producing, where I was like picking the different takes and I was, you know, so it was a very new experience. Um, and what was the second part of that question? Sorry, I got off on a tangent there.
Oh, so what was it
Oh,
like recording the record? What was it like just putting it all together?
yeah, yeah. Like I said, it was very, very interesting, very fun. And then I think you said the reciprocation I've been getting from that record, right?
Yeah.
So to be honest, it's been kind of a little slow, but I've been getting a lot of good feedback and stuff like that. For me, I'm a bit of a perfectionist, and so if it's not like up to my expectations, I get kind of down sometimes. But I have to just remember that I am an independent artist, and I am just starting out, and I did just move to Nashville in 2019. So I'm very new to this. So I recognize I shouldn't beat myself up too much if it doesn't, go as high as I planned.
So, you released a couple of songs prior to the EP
Mm-hmm.
release. You released
Yes.
City Girl,
Mhm.
Nicholas, and Vows. Um,
Mhm.
City Girl, definitely a standout track to me as far as
Thank
the
you.
EP. I want to talk about that song. What was it like recording that particular song?
Yeah. So in recording that song, I definitely wanted to add some fiddle in there. I had just really hired on an amazingly talented fiddler. Her name's Livy Goodgame, and she just completely killed it. It was amazing. It was like everything that I was thinking I wanted in the track, she just came up with. It was great. Um, I originally started writing that song because where I grew up, I grew up in Dallas, Texas, and at that point, it was a very I would say it was very kind of materialistic, and it was kind of a town where a lot of the people were, and it's not a lot of them, it's just some of them were not as nice as others, so to say, especially at an elementary school age. Kids can be very mean. So I kind of felt like I didn't really belong, and that's where the inspiration from the song came from.
So everyone can check out the self-titled EP from Lauren Teel. It is available on all digital music platforms, and with a lot of uncertainty for the music industry and independent artists, it's very important to support these artists, buy their music. I mean, streaming is cool, it's nice. They see people listen in different states and countries and everything. But it will be very helpful if you buy the music from this artist. It will really be very helpful. Um, so, and you did not stop with the EP. You released another song, which gotten a lot of attention. It's called Overweight. I
I did,
definitely.
yes.
So let's talk about that record. That's definitely. Um, I'll let you explain the song itself. What was it like recording that song?
Yeah, so Overweight was a song that I actually wrote after coming to Tennessee in 2019. And it's a culmination of things I've been feeling for a long time. Specifically, since I was 6, I've always had people, mainly people who are close to me, commenting on my physique, commenting on my body shape, commenting on my weight, things like that. And so I always felt like they didn't know that mirrors existed and that I had one, and that I could definitely see, that I wasn't the skinniest girl in the world. And so, I kind of put that into a song. And, there's so many songs these days about, loving who you are and loving the fact that, you're a little bit bigger than most people, and that's amazing. I love that. And I love that we're at a point where we can, appreciate those things. But at the same time, there wasn't really a song that talked about the downsides of being overweight, that talked about the shame in it and really the dehumanization that comes along with it. So that's why I wrote it.
And that song is also available on all digital music platforms as well. Um, I think it's very important to have a song like this out. Just so it just shows that people can relate. That's a very relatable song to people
Thank you so much.
that's dealing with what you dealt with, and I'm pretty sure you get the reactions on social media, you get fans messaging you, leaving comments on the post, and be like, "Yo, I appreciate you putting this song out. You know, I'm going through similar things." What's it like to get that type of reaction from listeners or just fellow musicians as far as this record?
Um, it's been really surprising. I didn't really know um, people. I didn't really think people knew about, me or in particular this song coming out. And so I did get a couple messages where it was kind of like, you know, um, it was basically them saying this really touched me, or thank you for putting this out. And it really hits home for me because growing up there was never a song like that I could kind of relate to and turn to when I got a mean comment from someone, or I didn't feel that great that day. And so it means a lot to me that they look to that song now.
So everyone could check that out. Overweight by Lauren Teel, and that's on the digital music platforms. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to be playing this song right after this interview. Going to be playing it, and people can give it a listen on these particular airwaves. So you live in
Thank you so
Tennessee.
much.
You live in Tennessee currently, and that is
I do.
indeed the mecca of country music. Um,
Yes.
and so 2019. So you've been there a little over a year, close to a year by now.
Yes. So
I,
I actually moved here January of 2019.
okay.
So it's going to be 2 years coming up.
For approaching 2 years. Okay. So so as you got the hang of just living in the city and going to shows, obviously before this pandemic, of course, how would you describe the experience going to these shows and getting the support from listeners to for fellow peers as far as how would you describe how you was received at when you started performing at Nashville?
So what's crazy is when I first moved here, I was so focused on school and the current job I just transferred to that I really didn't get to play until August of 2019. And so, but I can talk a little bit about my experiences with those. Most of the shows were definitely surrounding Middle Tennessee State. And so it was really amazing because, where I'm from in Texas, you don't get a lot of opportunities to really gig, There's not a lot of restaurants that do musicians, and if they do, they're expecting musicians with degrees, So Nashville was definitely something extremely special for me. I found a lot of people who were willing to collaborate with songwriting, willing to, give me advice and stuff, and that's been really, really helpful.
So as we get into the new year in 2021, a lot of optimism that's out there. Um, will there be more new music from you into 2021? And will this lead into potentially maybe another EP for Lauren Teel next year?
I can tell you there will definitely be more music, and it won't be an EP, but I'm hinting this the first time there will be a full album within the next 2 to 3 years. So I'm very excited about that, but I will keep releasing singles until that album is complete, but I have written the entire album, so.
Definitely looking forward to that. So where can people go check you out on social media? Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or any of the links out there?
Yeah, so on Facebook, it's really just Lauren Teel, and that's Teel. On Twitter, it's Lauren Teel and then the number 2. And then on Instagram, it's Lauren Teel Music. And yeah. And then
Great.
also my website is just laurenteel.com.
So that's Teal as in Teel, not Teal, not the color teal.
Yes.
Just
Yes, not like the
T with
color.
two E's in the last name Teal. Go check out the EP, self-titled. Go check out her latest single, Overweight. It is both. All of that is available on all the digital music platforms. And from the looks of things, you are my last interview guest of 2020, and this was a lot of fun. It's great having you on. Shout out to Trevor. Um, very busy dude, but I appreciate him managed to get you on this show, and I look forward to hearing more from you in 2021, and hopefully when things get a lot more safe, I might have to make the trip to Nashville and check out my music friends that's out there. They've been
Thank you so
trying
much
to
for having me.
that they've been trying to get me to that city for the last couple of years. I said I was going to get to it, and then the pandemic happened. I'm like, oh, can't go. Uh, but I will once things get a lot more safer and maybe more people are vaccinated. I don't know when things get back to some sort of normalcy. But thank you, Lauren, for your time. Um, Best of success, continuous success goes out to you. Be safe out there, and hopefully we have another interview like this in the future when that album comes out. I definitely would love to have you back on. Thanks for your time, and happy holidays to you and your family. And again, be safe.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me, and happy holidays. You too.